The first thing I want to talk about is I'm going to ask you a question. How many in here, when you were a child, remember that way back when? Used your imagination when you were playing, either with your toys or outside or whatever. Imagination is so much more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Now, Albert Einstein said that. I don't take credit for it. I just simply love it, and so that's why I read it. Use your imagination. Sometimes when we have problems and challenges, we tend to over-rely on our mentors. What I mean by that, don't take this wrongly, it's important that you always counsel with a mentor, but there are some things and challenges that you have that can be overcome through the use of something that you need to work more. It's like a muscle. Imagination is strong when you use it. And use your imagination to solve some problems, okay? And that's my advice with respect to imagination. Let's talk about the next one, intelligence. Now, I'm not going to talk about the aspects of intelligence. We would be here for hours, okay? But Henry Ford said something that I thought was important to repeat here. And he said, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. And a lot of people look at failure and they, woe is me. I knew it. This isn't working. It's typical. It never works for me. Now, not everybody says that, but a lot of people do. And, when you look at what went wrong and you talk about it with your mentor, look, I did this, this, and this, and this didn't happen. Well, lots of times you can't control what happens. All you can control is what you do. And with what happens, you can learn from that. And then the next time you can maybe do it a little bit more intelligently, sometimes a lot more intelligently. And so with respect to intelligence, I just wanted to hit on that. Let's talk about comprehension. Comprehension. I always thought when I was a kid that comprehension meant understanding, right? And it kind of does. And a lady by the name of Debbie Diller, I looked it up to see if she was related to Phyllis Diller. Those of you that are my age or so know who she is. But comprehension is a conversation between you, the reader, and the text that you're reading. That's what comprehension is. Comprehension is vital when it comes to education, isn't it? You want to comprehend it. Reading helps you to comprehend things. It really does. So that's that. Inspiring others is the next thing I want to talk about. It's very difficult to inspire others to accomplish what you haven't been willing to try. Confucius said that. I take no credit for these quotes, okay? But again, I love to read them and just apply them in my life. If you haven't been trying something or doing something and you want to inspire someone else to do it, guess what? It's just not there. It's black and white. In order to put color in it, you need to have done it or had been at least willing to try it and do it. So that's important when it comes to inspiring others, and that's another topic that could last for hours. Now, we talked about the mastermind a lot because that's the chapter that we're focused on first in the 16 Laws of Success. And Napoleon Hill said something. I found myself years and years ago, and even today at times, persistence, continuing, keeping going, taking that action you failed on in the past and doing it again in spite of the fact that you failed on it. I failed on it. Why should I try it again? That's called persistence. And so Napoleon Hill said, if you find yourself weak in persistence, surround yourself with a mastermind group. Because why? Well, many reasons. One of them is called inspiration because that's what masterminds do, right? They inspire others. And that's what we are. We're a mastermind group. And we have businesses, many of us, and we also have other mastermind groups within those businesses. So that's important. Understand your own mind and then the minds of others. When you understand your own mind, it is so much easier to understand the minds of others. Why? Because we're human beings. We're all fellow human beings. Well, how do I understand my mind, Kevin? Simple. Affirmations is one way, because when you say to yourself something that you have as though it already exists, not as an impending event, in other words, not as, oh, it's going to happen or it will happen. It is already in existence, even though it physically isn't yet. what it does is it helps you take the action necessary to make it happen. It's a powerful thing. That's just one tiny little thing about understanding your own mind. That way you can understand the mind of others, and I'm not going to go on and on. Organized and coordinated effort is the next thing I just wanted to touch on. Effort alone is okay, but when it's organized, in other words, you've planned it out and you are following that plan, and when it's coordinated, that can mean two things. Effort coordinated with others, when you're all working toward a common goal, is a powerful concept, and again, that relates back to the mastermind. And then finally, knowledge is actually useless until it's organized and expressed in action. Take action. Stop not taking action. How's that? Stop not taking action. Just take action. Just do it. Just do what you're afraid to do that you won't admit that you're afraid to do. You just would rather read something, or like Mike Hobbs said yesterday, learn something. Now, granted, Mike nor I are downplaying the concept of learning, but many people, and Paul talked about this last night too on another mastermind Zoom that we had last night, lots of times people will avoid taking that action and do something that makes it seem like you're working. I studied today, so that's how I worked my business. I'm getting better at learning what to do. And that's, in my opinion, okay, don't take this wrongly, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out to you taking the action necessary to put dollars in your pocket. That's the action that everyone needs to take who wants to become rich. Think and grow rich, okay? But I'm going to say this right before I leave. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Go, Kevin!
Yeah!
That was uplifting. Yeah.
Have a great day, folks.